Cold steel kissed my throat, a line of icy dread against my skin. Above me, a face that once seemed as delicate as porcelain was twisted into a mask of pure, venomous rage. It was Evan, the beautiful Omega. This whole mess had started over, and he was about to end me. My body was a leaden weight, a useless prison of flesh, thanks to a needle plunged into my neck just moments before. I couldn't move. I couldn't fight. I could only lie there, watching the glint of the dagger in his hand, listening to his deranged whispers about how my blood would prove his love for another man. He Euros trade s mine, you hear me? His voice was a hiss. No one steals him from me. My mind, a frantic prisoner in my paralyzed body, screamed one name. A name I had once despised, a name that now represented my only, impossible hope. Tyler, where are you, you arrogant bastard? The blade pressed deeper, and I braced for the sharp, final agony. And then, the night exploded. But to understand how I ended up paralyzed on a moonlit hill, at the mercy of a psychotic Omega, we have to go back to the beginning. Back to the moment my old life ended and this insane new one began. 1 minute, I was Ryan Carter, champion boxer, cruising in my car after a win. The next, there was a symphony of screeching tires, shattering glass, and thin Euros nothing. Utter blackness. I expected a pearly gate or a fiery pit. What I got was the distinct, humiliating sensation of a designer sneaker grinding my cheek into the dirt. A chorus of jeering laughter was my welcome wagon. The pain was minimal, a distant throb, but the shamir Euros the shame was a 5-course meal, and I was the main dish. A lazy, arrogant voice drifted down from above. Still got tricks up your sleeve, huh? I blinked, my vision clearing to see a pair of impossibly long legs encased in a crisp, silver uniform that practically radiated wealth. My eyes traveled up past the polished shoe currently using my face as a doormat, and locked onto a figure straight out of a magazine. Golden blonde hair, a jawline sharp enough to cut diamonds, and piercing blue eyes that danced with unconcealed mockery. He was the very definition of a privileged pretty boy, the kind you instinctively want to punch. The crowd of onlookers roared their approval, their voices echoing in what looked like an open-air courtyard of some high-end academy. A few feet away, another boy watched, this one with dark, soulful eyes and an armful of books clutched to his chest. He looked like he was about to burst into tears, and for some reason, seeing his distress sent a bizarre pang of guilt through me. Strange, considering I didn't know him from Adam. That was it. Euros trade D had enough. Euros trade M Ryan Carter, a fighter, not some welcome mat for a rich Keter Euros trade SEO. My instincts screamed, and I reached for the blonde gooer Euros trade S ankle, ready to execute a perfect flip that would send him sprawling. Exeter Euros my arm felt like a wet noodle. Where my powerful bicep should have been was a pale, scrawny limb that had no business belonging to me. What in the actual hell? I pulled harder, putting my all into it, but the blonde Adonis didn't even wobble. He just raised a perfectly sculpted eyebrow. Playing carp now, are we? Just flopping around on the ground. He sneered and the crowd howled with laughter. Carp? Who even says that? I was about to offer him a few choice words on where he could shove his aquatic metaphors when he leaned down, his face uncomfortably close, and angled my head towards the dark-haired boy. Stay away from Evan, you creep, he snarled, his voice low and menacing. Next time, Euros trade LL break both your legs. Evan, the name registered like a punch to the gut. So that was the name of the sad-eyed kid. And apparently, in this bizarre reality, I was some kind of stalker who had been pursuing him relentlessly. Me chasing a guy? The thought was so absurd it was almost laughable. I was as straight as they come, but the persistent knot of shame in my stomach told a different story, as if this body I was inhabiting came with its own set of emotional baggage I was now forced to carry. Fine, if this golden-haired jerk wanted to play dirty, I could play dirtier. My old coach had a saying, when you're in a corner, always aim for the crown jewels. I flashed him a grin, all teeth. Come closer, pretty boy. Are you scared? His eyes narrowed into slits. He crouched down, slapping my cheek with a light, condescending tap, as if scolding a misbehaving pet. War euros trade re all bark, Ryan. No bite. That was my opening. He was close enough. With a speed that surprised even me, my hand shot out, not with a force to cause permanent damage, but with enough accuracy to make a very clear, very personal point. The world went silent. The jeering crowd, the distant hum of the campus, everything just stopped. The only sound was the soft thud of Ivarna Eurostrade's boots hitting the stone path. Blondie froze, his body rigid. His face, once a canvas of arrogant amusement, began to bloom into a spectacular shade of crimson, starting from his neck and spreading all the way to the tips of his ears. His blue eyes were wide with a mixture of shock, disbelief, and profound violation. "War euros," he choked out, stumbling backward, his hands instinctively flying to cover his pride. "War euros trade re-dead, Ryan." Whoa, okay, maybe I overdid it. Just a joke, man. A joke. I scrambled to my feet, my hands raised in a gesture of mock surrender, trying desperately to suppress the bubble of laughter rising in my chest. He wasn't Eurostrade listening. He was already halfway across the courtyard, his expensive uniform flapping behind him like the ruffled feathers of a deeply offended peacock. The crowd wasn't laughing anymore. They were whispering, and I caught fragments floating on the air. Molester euros right on a Eurostrade gone completely insane euros fantastic. Our Eurostrade been in this new world for all of 5 minutes, and I was already a social pariah and a registered sex offender. I glanced over at Evan, who was hastily gathering his scattered books, his gaze fixed firmly on the ground. The kid was undeniably beautiful, I had to give him that. But he wasn't my type. Whatever pathetic obsession this Baudet Eurostrade's previous owner had, I was shutting it down. Permanently. Then, I caught my own reflection in the polished surface of a nearby window, and my heart sank into my stomach. Holy crap, I was a shrimp, 5'7" at best, with arms like spaghetti and a face that practically begged to be punched. My 6-foot, sculpted boxer Eurostrade's physique was gone, vanished into thin air. The clothes are cool, though, I muttered, tugging at the sleeve of the silver jacket. It was sleek, almost futuristic. But the body it contained was an insult to my legacy. The crowd was still buzzing, so I gave them a universal one-fingered salute and stalked away, my mind reeling. I needed answers. Why was I here? Why was I in this pathetic excuse for a body? And why did everyone think I was some lovesick loser pining for a guy named Evan? I navigated the sprawling, high-tech campus until a hand like a slab of meat clamped down on my collar. "Ryan, are you nuts?" A voice boomed. I spun around to find myself face to face with a mountain of a man, at least 6'3", with a goofy grin plastered on his face. He was wearing the same silver uniform, grabbing Tyler Eurostrade's junk. In front of everyone, "War Eurostrade retoast, dude." Tyler. I squinted, the name clicking into place. Blondie. Yeah, Tyler Grayson. The Goer Euros Jake. My brain helpfully supplieder euros said, shaking his head in disbelief. First class Alpha, his family basically owns this academy. You went from confessing your undying love to Evan to starting a war with Tyler in one afternoon. Futter euros trade as a new record for epic fails. Confessing to a guy? I felt the blood drain from my face. Jake just blinked at me. Oh, yet? Iverner euros trade S and Omega. You are euros trade V been following him around like a lost puppy for months. Tyler euros trade S his self-appointed bodyguard. You are so screwed. Omega, Alvar. The words landed like a 1-2 combination, knocking the wind out of me. Euros trade D read enough bizarre fiction online to have a terrifyingly clear idea of what was happening. This wasn't a Euros trade T just a new body. It was a new universe. An Omniverse. A world where society was structured around alphas, betas, and omegas, with pheromones and glands and a whole host of biological nonsense I was now trapped in. And I, this scrawny, pathetic loser, was an alpha. Jake, I said, my voice barely a whisper as I grabbed his collar. Tell me I was chasing a girl, please. He just laughed. Dude, Evan is prettier than most girls. There are euros trade S, no shame in it. War euros trade re in alpha, key euros trade S and omega. Eater euros trade S a textbook crush. I let him go, my head spinning. Euros trade M straight, Jake. 100% straight. Sure, buddy, sure, he said, patting my shoulder consolingly as he steered me towards a dorm building. Letter euros trade S just get you inside before Tyler sends his Dune squad to turn you into a modern art installation. The dorm was a Spartan concrete box. 2 beds, a shared desk, and a roster on the wall. Alvar dorm, bed 1 Ryan Carter. Bed 2 Jake Walsh. Alvar. There it was again, in black and white. My eyes drifted to the mirror, and a wave of nausea washed over me. The person staring back was a complete stranger, pale, unnervingly thin, with a mop of unruly brown hair and a face that screamed a circumflex euros lost puppy euros trade more than a circumflex euros knockout kinder euros trade. Jake, I said, my voice low. What the hell exactly is an alpha? He gaped at me as if euros trade D just asked him what the sun was. Are you serious? Alphas are the top dogs. Strong, dominant, born leaders. We run the show. War euros trade re 1. Euros trade M1. Tyler euros trade S1. Evans and Omega. Fair euros trade re rare. Delicater euros super desirable to alphas. And beaters area euros well. Fair euros trade re just the regular folks. I nodded slowly, pretending to understand, while a single word screamed on a loop inside my skull. Transmigrated. I hadn't just woken up in a new body. I'd been thrown headfirst into a bizarre biological soap opera where I was a physically weak alpha with a history of crushing on a dude and a brand new, very powerful enemy. This was just fantastic. All right, I said, cracking my knuckles out of habit. This Ryan guy might have been a wimp, but euros trade am not. Time to clean up this mess. Jake snorted. Good luck with that. Tyler euros trade S family is basically military royalty. You cross him again, and you are euros trade LL be lucky if they just expel you. A flicker of my old fire returned. A genuine smile spread across my face. Let him try. Euros trade V taken down bigger guys with far worse attitudes. But as Jake launched into a lecture about campus politics, my gaze returned to my reflection. Those noodle arms, that pathetic frame. This body was a joke. But I was na Euros trade T. I would train. I would fight. I would figure out this whole alpha nonsense. Tyler Grayson wanted a war. He was going to get one. And as for Ivana Euros, sorry, kid, but this heart is under new management, and Eater Euros Trade S officially closed for business. My name is Ryan Carter, and I was about to take this world by storm, one punch at a time. I woke to the symphony of stale socks and the glorious sight of Jacker Euros Trade S enormous feet dangling over the edge of his bed. My head was pounding, a dull ache that resonated through my entire body, which felt like it had been tenderized with a meat mallet. Rolling out of bed, I caught my reflection in the mirror and winced. The silver uniform was still undeniably cool, but on my frame, it was like putting a racing stripe on a tricycle. Jake snored on, blissfully unaware of my existential crisis, so I gave his exposed foot a swift kick. Yo, Sasquatch, rise and shine. He jolted awake, his eyes bleary. Dude, Eater Euros Trade S6A. What are Euros Trade S your problem? Then, a slow grin spread across his face. Heard you are Euros Trade read a campus celebrity now. Ryan, the family jewels connoisseur. The academy chat is blowing up. I groaned, picturing the digital slaughter. Let me see. He tossed me a sleek tablet, and sure enough, the Academy Euros Trade S internal network was a circus of my own making. Ryan molests Tyler Grayson in broad daylight. Lovers a Euros Trade quarrel turns physical. Alphas, guard your crotches. There was even a short, blurry video of me smirking as Tyler made his hasty, red-faced retreat. It was a public execution by meme. These punks have no lives, I growled, tossing the tablet back onto his bed. Ire Euros Trade shutting this down. Jake just laughed. Good luck. Tyler Euros Trade S inner circle basically runs the network. You are Euros Trade re-toast unless you go and apologize. Apologize? I scoffed. Ire Euros Trade D rather shave my head and audition for a boy band. He shrugged, pulling on his uniform. Your funeral. Car Euros Trade Mon. We Euros Trade V got judo class. As we walked across campus, a futuristic landscape of sleek buildings and hovering delivery drones, I felt like a zoo animal on display. Students in their silver uniforms stared, pointed, and whispered as I passed. I was a walking, talking cautionary tale. One particularly beefy alpha, built like a refrigerator, shouted, "Hey, perv, you can grab my nuts next." His friends erupted in laughter. Before I even knew what I was doing, my old instincts took over. In a flash, I was on him, my hand grabbing the collar of his uniform, twisting it just enough to cut off his air supply and make him sweat. I might not have my old strength, but I still had leverage and a lifetime of knowing exactly where to apply pressure. Keep talking, I said, my voice a low, dangerous growl. And Ire Euros Trade LL rearrange your face for you. His eyes widened in surprise. He was a head taller and 50 pounds heavier, but he saw the raw insanity in my eyes. The crowd around us went silent. Sorry, man, he mumbled, and I released him, letting him scramble away with his cronies. Jake let out a low whistle. Damn, Ryan, you are Euros Trade not the wimp I thought you were. Never was, I said, brushing my hands off as if dusting off a minor inconvenience. This body Euros Trade S just a rental, and Euros Trade making some upgrades. He clapped me on the back, the force of it nearly sending me to my knees. You are Euros Trade completely nuts, but I like it. Just try not to get yourself killed when Tyler finally comes for you. Judo class was held in a massive gymnasium with padded mats and holographic scoreboards. The instructor, a grizzled beater with a buzzcut, barked orders like a drill sergeant. As he told us to pair off, a strange thing happened. Everyone near me scattered like I had the plague. My newfound reputation was a double-edged sword. Jake, loyal oaf that he is, stuck by my side. Tyler Eurostrade's family pulled some strings, he whispered. All of yesterday Eurostrade's posts about you are their Eurostrade re-gone. Wiped clean. The guy has serious power. Power, I snorted. He was a spoiled brat who couldn't Eurostrade handle being embarrassed. SHH, Jake hissed, nodding towards the entrance. And then he walked in. Tyler Grayson, 6'2" of golden-haired perfection, looking like he Eurostrade just stepped out of a shampoo commercial. And right beside him, looking delicate and lovely, was Evan. In their white training gis, they looked like some kind of tragic, beautiful power couple. The entire room started buzzing with speculation. The consensus was clear: it was only a matter of time before they were officially together. Everyone seemed to believe it, except, apparently, me. Since the original Ryan had been foolish enough to confess his feelings for Evan right in front of his so-called rival. I flashed Tyler a cheesy, over-the-top grin, hoping my sheer audacity would make him back off. It had the opposite effect. He stiffened, his blue eyes locking onto me like a heat-seeking missile. He started towards me, and I braced for impact. But Jake, bless his simple heart, threw his arms around me in a crushing bear hug, babbling loudly about protein shakes and leg day. Tyler Eurostrade's gaze dropped to Jackie Eurostrade's arm wrapped around my waist, and his handsome face twisted into a scowl, like he Eurostrade just swallowed something sour. What was his deal? Before things could escalate, the instructor clapped his hands, saving my ass. Alphas and Omegas, separate. Pair up for drills. Ryan, Tyler, you two are together. The rest of you, find a partner, now. I shot the instructor a withering glare. The man was clearly a sadist. Tyler was already stalking towards me, a predatory smirk playing on his lips. Ready to eat Matt, Carter. Jake gave me a little shove forward and then bolted, muttering, "Donna Eurostrade die. Thanks for the vote of confidence, pal." Tyler loomed over me, all smug superiority. I just tilted my head, my eyes dropping pointedly to his belt buckle. "Careful, princess. I fight dirty." His face flushed a satisfying shade of pink. Score 1 for me. But he recovered quickly, circling me like a professional fighter. The whistle blew, and we engaged. I was a boxer, not a grappler, but I understood angles and momentum. The problem was, this body was pathetically weak. Tyler was clearly well-trained, effortlessly blocking my attempts and tossing me around like a rag doll. I hit the mat hard, the impact rattling my brain. Through a blur, I saw Evan watching from the sidelines, his expression completely unreadable. I was down again, my nose stinging. I wiped it with the back of my hand and saw red. Blood. Great. For a split second, Tyler hesitated. But that was all I needed. The sight of my own blood was a familiar fuel. I lunged, moving with a speed this body shouldn't Eurostrade have possessed, and locked my arm around his neck in a chokehold. We crashed to the mat, a tangled mess of limbs. He was stronger, fighting to pin me, but I was scrappy, all sharp elbows and knees. I wrapped my legs around his waist, refusing to let go, a human barnacle of pure spite. "Get off me, you leech!" he snarled, tugging at my D. "Make me pretty boy," I grunted back, and then, To hell with it, I yanked his hair. Then I bit his ear. Not hard, just a sharp nip enough to shock him. He let out a strange, soft yelp and his entire body went limp, collapsing on top of me. The entire gym gasped. My chest was heaving, his weight crushing the air from my lungs. And then I felt a sharp, hot pain at my collarbone. Did he just euros bite me back? I shoved him, but my hands landed on the warm, solid plane of his chest through his torn gi. He jerked back as if electrocuted, clutching his ear, his face redder than a fire truck. "War euros, you touched me," he sputtered, as if I had just desecrated a holy temple. I pushed myself up, wincing as I touched my collarbone. 2 distinct teeth marks were already beginning to bloom on my skin. "You bit me first, you jerk." I snapped back, but my voice cracked. Why was my face so hot? Evan rushed over, his face a mask of concern. "Tyler, are you okay?" He reached for him, but Tyler flinched away, growling, "Donna Euros trade T touch me." Ivarna Euros trade's face fell. He turned to me, his dark eyes now cold as ice. "Stay away from us, Ryan. Nobody wants your trouble." Trouble? I was the one bleeding here. Jake was suddenly there, fussing over me like a mother hen, but the instructor's voice cut through the drama like a razor. "Carter, Grayson, enough. 300 laps, both of you. Now." We glared at each other, a silent declaration of war, but the instructor was an immovable object. As we limped towards the indoor track, I caught Tyler Eurostrade's eyes flicking down to the bite mark on my collarbone. For a fleeting moment, I saw a flash of guilt in his eyes before he quickly looked away. A strange feeling twisted in my gut. It wasn't a Eurostrade shame this time. It was something else, something new and unsettling that I didn't Eurostrade want to put a name to. This Alpha Omega crap was messing with my head, and Tyler Grayson wasn't a Eurostrade helping. But one thing was crystal clear. I needed to get stronger, and I needed to do it fast. Because if this world was a fighting ring, I wasn't a Eurostrade going down without a fight. 300 laps. Around a track the size of a professional football field. In a body that started wheezing after 10 push-ups. This wasn't just punishment. It was a special kind of hell, and the instructor was its gleeful overlord. My legs were jelly, my lungs were on fire, and every drop of sweat felt like acid stinging the fresh bite mark on my collarbone. Tyler, of course, was jogging beside me as if he were on a leisurely stroll through a park. Spine perfectly straight, stride long and smooth, his golden hair barely disturbed by the exertion. The man was an infuriating machine. "This guy's a drill sergeant from hell," I muttered, stumbling over my own feet. The rest of the class was gone, leaving us to our fate. Campus chat was probably already dubbing me Ryan the ear-biter. Tyler glanced back, a smirk playing on his lips as he caught my glare. "What's the matter, Carter? Can't keep up?" His smirk was back, but I noticed his ears were still a delicate shade of pink. "Gotcha. Keep up. I'm just pacing myself, princess," I shot back, though my voice came out as a pathetic wheeze. "You run like you're auditioning for a pop idol group," he snorted, slowing his pace to match my pathetic shuffle. "At least I don't flop around like a fish out of water." "Fish, carp. What is it with you and sea creatures?" I grinned, trying to ignore the stabbing pain in my side. "You got a thing for mermaids?" His face twitched, a battle between a laugh and a scowl that he quickly suppressed. We ran in silence for 5 agonizing laps, the quiet somehow more punishing than the exertion. I was about to crack another stupid joke just to break the tension when he stopped dead in his tracks, forcing me to skid to a halt to avoid crashing into him. He kept a deliberate distance of a few feet between us, his expression suddenly serious. "Look, Ryan," he said, his voice low and firm. "I'm only going to say this once. Alpha to Alpha. It's impossible. Give it up." I blinked, completely lost. "Huh? What's impossible?" He rolled his eyes, looking at me as if I were the dumbest person on the planet. Me, whatever twisted game you're playing, I'm going to mark an omega one day, not." He trailed off, gesturing vaguely at me as if I were a walking catastrophe. My brain short-circuited. Did he honestly think I was Euros hitting on him? Me, the guy who used to date cheerleaders and break hearts in dive bars. I burst out laughing, a loud, sharp sound that echoed in the empty gym. I had to double over, clutching my aching side, partly from the pain and partly from the sheer absurdity of it all. "You think I'm into you?" I gasped between breaths. "Oh man, that's priceless. I'm straighter than a ruler, Ty." His jaw tightened, a dark flush creeping up his neck. "Then why did you?" He stopped, probably replaying the highlight reel of my recent actions in his head, the hand to the crotch, the teeth to the ear. Okay, fair point. From his perspective, I was sending some seriously mixed signals. But it was desperation, not desire. "Dude, I was messing with you," I said, straightening up, trying to get under your skin. "And as for Evan, he's not my type. To be honest, I thought he was a girl at first. This body has terrible taste, not me." Tyler's eyes narrowed, his gaze sharp and suspicious. "You stalked Evan for months. You confessed to him yesterday. Don't play innocent with me." Stalked? Confessed? The actions of the body's previous owner were a ghost I couldn't seem to shake. "Man, that wasn't me," I started, then stopped short. How could I possibly explain transmigrating from another world without getting myself locked in a padded room? "Look, let's just say Euros, I'm under new management now. Okay?" He just stared at me, his intense blue eyes seeming to bore straight into my skull as if trying to decipher the truth. Then, he took a step closer, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "Evan's just the son of my father's aide. We're not together, but you harassing him Euros, that's why I stepped in." My jaw practically hit the floor. "You're not dating Evan. Then why did you grind my face into the pavement?" He flinched, his gaze involuntarily darting to the bite mark on my collarbone again. "You were harassing an omega," he said defensively. "Alphas don't do that. Not while I'm around." "Harassing?" I spluttered. "I didn't even know the kid existed until yesterday." He opened his mouth to argue, then closed it, a flicker of something that looked suspiciously like guilt crossing his face. Before I could press him on it, a faint scent hit my nostrils. It was woody, like cedar and smoke, and it was coming from him. And it was doing something strange to my head, making my pulse quicken and my skin tingle. What the hell? It had to be that pheromone crap Jake had mentioned. I shook my head, trying to clear it, and started jogging again. "Whatever," I muttered. "You still owe me for the dry cleaning." Tyler fell into step beside me, silent for another lap. Then, out of nowhere, he said, "You could try being nicer. Less Euros feral." I laughed, nearly tripping over my own feet. "Nicer? I'm sweet as pie. You wanna be my new best friend, Ty?" His face went nuclear. He'd actually stopped running, his hands clenched into tight fists at his sides. "War Euros, you're impossible," he spat, and I could have sworn there was a high-pitched squeak in his voice. I blew him a kiss over my shoulder, just to pour salt in the wound, and then pushed myself into a sprint, cackling like a madman. "Get back here, Carter!" he roared, but I was already halfway around the track, grinning from ear to ear. By lap 50, I was a walking corpse, but Tyler was still going strong. The gym was empty now, the sun setting outside the massive windows. I was on the verge of collapsing when Jake came sprinting over, waving his tablet like a madman. "Ryan, you're trending again. Alpha Showdown Ryan vs. Tyler." I snatched the tablet from him. The network was flooded with new posts. Ryan Carter's duts. Did you hear Tyler deleted the old videos? Is he covering for him? Are they fighting or flirting? I can't tell anymore. I groaned, handing it back. This place is a high school drama on steroids. Jake nudged me. Tyler's family must have nuked the old posts. The guy has serious pull. You're lucky he didn't have you expelled. Lucky? I scoffed, glancing over at Tyler, who was a few yards away, pretending not to listen. He's lucky I didn't knock his perfect teeth out. Jake just laughed, then lowered his voice. Seriously, though, you're different. The old Ryan would have been hiding in the dorm, crying his eyes out after yesterday. You're a badass now. I shrugged, hiding a smirk. Always was big guy. This body's just playing catch up. He clapped my shoulder, and we headed for the showers. I was sore all over, but my head was clearer than it had been all day. It was time to hit the weights seriously. Time to turn this twig into a weapon. Tyler wasn't the only alpha on this campus who could throw his weight around. As we were leaving, I saw Tyler lingering by the gym door, his eyes on me. It wasn't a hostile look anymore. It was something else. Curious, maybe. That strange, woody scent of his hit me again, faint but distinct, making my skin prickle. Weirdo. Still, my gut was telling me there was more to this guy than just a spoiled prince. Back in the dorm, I collapsed onto my bed, staring at the ceiling. This world was a minefield of pheromones, social hierarchies, and alphas with grudges. But I was Ryan Carter. I didn't back down from a fight. If Tyler wanted to play king of the castle, fine. I'd be the rebel who came to steal his crown. Tomorrow, the real training began. This alpha had a reputation to rebuild, and I was just getting started.